been asked a few times recently, online and in person, how I've overcome anxiety. The truth is I haven't. I've just learned how to cope and manage it. I think with mental health there's this belief that it's like a light switch. You can just turn it off when you have a solution. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as that. I guess you could fit a dimmer light though, to reduce the intensity. Our minds are really complex things when we don't understand how they work, and to tame something you need to understand how it works. And I guess that's where the crossover for me and many other people are. Some days we can look like we've overcome something because we're doing good. And others, the simplest of things are the most difficult, like sleeping. So how do you learn to tame this? Here's 5 tips that I use to tame my anxiety that might help you too. One of the biggest issues I feel with mental health is the fear of mental health. It's a scary thing to accept because there's such a stigma attached to it. But once you accept that you're dealing with something, the fear of, oh my god, why is this happening, settles and surfaces. Now you've accepted what's happening, you can now learn about it and ways to tame it. I know, the thought of exposing yourself can pretty much send you into an anxiety attack alone. It's funny because I look back and I think the one thing that really did help me learn how to tame it was exposing myself to situations that made me anxious. It's uncomfortable, it's horrible, you have to then go through the attack that you don't want to feel them symptoms for. I get it. But at the same time, you're pushing yourself into a situation where you're learning how to deal with it. And I guess that's how I've learned how to tame it, because the more I'm exposed to it, the more I'm like, okay, we're in this now. We need to get out of it, or at least learn how to handle it. I've got the type of mind frame that I'll panic about something until I understand it, and I've found that having proof about something often helps me reduce the amount I'm panicking. Trying to find techniques on how to handle anxiety is really difficult because we all suffer differently, but finding techniques on how to handle symptoms is a little bit easier. Being able to recognise your symptoms and tame them individually can really help. For instance, when I sometimes have an anxiety attack, I often feel dizzy, lightheaded and breathless. I just want it to stop. I always try and sit there and ask myself, if I was to ask a doctor or if I was to ask parents or a close friend, what do you do to stop feeling dizzy and lightheaded? What would they advise me? They would tell me to drink plenty of fluids, sit down, eat something that's going to be easily digestible, just balance your body out. Once I learnt this, I found the intensity of my symptoms reducing. It's like there's something in the back of my mind saying, you're doing everything that's medically proven to reduce this particular symptom. Of course it's working. It's almost like mind tricks. I've really found that self-help books help a lot as well, for me anyway. It's funny because someone could tell me this to my face, but I just won't intake it. My mind's too occupied of overthinking probably what they're telling me, if they think it's true, if they think something completely different to what they're saying, if they think I'm insane. Just all these thoughts just flood through your head and you just can't seem to take it in. But with a book, it's like you feel relatable, not judged. Someone gets it, and there's always something that pops out to you that makes you then think about what's written. Whereas with a conversation that doesn't always happen, because as I said, your mind's occupied with something else. There's a lot of books that I've read that have helped a lot, which I will mention in my blog. Find something that keeps your mind busy. You know, them constant negative or judgmental thoughts that spin through your head. These are all questions that your mind's trying to find answers to because it's unoccupied. Your mind needs to be challenged in order to focus on one thing. Whether that's reading, writing, watching something interesting, having a conversation with someone that actually stimulates your mind and makes you think. Regardless of what it is, find a couple and alternate them so it continues to challenge you. This will keep your mind focused and give it limited time to spiral into those thoughts. I found keeping reminders around me as well was really helpful. So for instance, on my lock screen on my phone, I've got quotes, often stuff that kind of relates to the opposite of what anxiety makes you feel. So you often don't feel safe with anxiety, you often feel panicked, you often feel lost and just like you can't get through it. And having something as simple on your lock screen that you look at every single day, how many times a day, saying I'm calm, I'm safe and I can get through this, or I can handle this, in the back of your mind, it's going to pick it up, and it's just going to keep on reminding you daily that you can do it. And I found that that does help. By all means, I'm not a medical professional, and just because this works for me, it may not work for you. If you feel like this is overwhelming and you can't cope, please seek professional help. I saw a counsellor and they really helped me open my mind and get to this point and just learn how to help myself. Getting help is a positive thing. We get help in school to learn, we get help from our parents, just generally in life to grow. We've got help through every single part of our lives so far. Why is getting help with something we struggle with, like mental health, frowned upon? It's a good thing. It helps you move forward. This week is Children's Mental Health Week. Regardless if you're a child or an adult, if you're suffering or if you know someone that's suffering from mental health, if there's one thing I can ask that you focus on this week, it's spreading kindness. Although this is something we should all do every single day of the year, small acts of kindness can make you feel positive and happy, and can also turn someone's possible bad day around to seem brighter and positive. You can check out my blog for some ideas if you need some for small acts of kindness, but believe it or not, you've actually already done one, because you've sat up with me whilst I can't sleep, which has made my evening a little bit better. Thank you so much for watching. As always, give this video a thumbs up if you like what you've seen. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next week on my next video. I'm going to try and get some sleep, and yeah, thanks again. Good night.